Hey guys, I'm shooting this quick video needing assistance on the correct wiring for this setup that I have here. This is going to be on a Goblin 700. And let me just quickly run through the equipment that I'm using. I'm going to be using a YG120. I'll be using the internal governor on this device. I'll be using a Western Robotics BEC for the 14S packs that I'll be running. I'm going to be using 14S on this setup. Servos, tail servos at 256, Futaba, and my cyclics will be, what are those? Those are 351s. I'll be obviously using 3 of those. Flybarless unit is an Icon. Motor, 450 kV. The 750MX Align. So here is where I am at. I've got a decent command for how the wiring is supposed to be, but I really would like to confirm it with some of you more seasoned guys. But here's how I see it. This here obviously runs to the receiver, in my case the Icon, and this will be mounted on the front of the heli. Therefore I'll be using this relay. My first connection will be there, and this end will be connected to the throttle channel on the Icon. So that'll square away this line here. This other line here is for the program card, so obviously I guess I'll just put a looping bind plug there for any possible interference to alleviate that. Any idea on the correspondence between these 3 motor lines and the motor wires themselves? If you could help out, either just coordinate for me the color to, we'll call this 1, 2, and 3 for the proper operation of the motor. On the tail servo, I imagine this is going to run also to a relay because I'm not going to have enough length. So I'll have this probably glued, connected to a relay, and that relay connected to the tail channel on my Icon. So that takes care of the tail servos as the setup instructs, 1, 2, and 3. And then the BEC. So the BEC, first off, knowing the servos that I'm using, what is the voltage that I need to set this to? And I'm thinking that the correct voltage is going to be the 6 volt, but let me know that it's the 6 and not the 8.4 for voltage using the servos I've mentioned. Because I'm using high voltage servos, I imagine I need to use both of these and connect both of them to the available channels on the Icon. These here, because this is going to be mounted at the rear of the heli, I imagine that these 2 power lines, I'm going to need to lengthen them to run the extent of the heli all the way to these power connections, which I want to wire in series, I think it is, with EC5 connectors. I want to be able to power the servos separately from the motor and do some pre-flight checks of the servos prior to engaging the motor. So let me know if I'm correct in that I need to lengthen these lines to run all the way to the front here to solder them together at the tip at the EC5 connection, and then create a loop with another EC5 connector, and let me know how I need to do that. I'm thinking that black and red are going to be separated into one EC5, and then I'll be looping another 10 gauge black line from another EC5 to this connection, as well as the looping connection. So one EC5 will have this black line plus another 10 gauge looping black line, and then the other EC5 will have the red and the black, and then my BEC lines, those I need instruction on. Do I run both of them to this point or this point with my EC5 connections? Aside from that, I think I've covered that. Servos are going to be fine. Servos are fine. BC, let me know what voltage I need to be using, and that I explain things correctly with how I'm going to wire this device to my icon. Another thing, I purchased this heli from a previous owner who had this that I just can't wrap my head around in making sense of it. He had this line here that I found, and he was using a V-bar. So it could be that he made a jumper here for his V-bar so he could use the internal governor of the V-bar. But again, I'm unsure what exactly he created here and trying to make sense of all this. All these here, these black heat shrink, are just for wire protection. None of them are for any soldering work that he did. Let me also know on my throttle channel if I need to pull out the red line on it. And if you can, just give me a step-by-step instruction. Really dumb it down for me so I don't make any mistake. Believe it or not, I've actually fried the FETs on a YGE 160 that I had because a stupid mistake I made where I ran this throttle channel, this line here, not to the throttle channel, but to another available channel on my receiver. So I really would like to get it right this time and make it less of a costly effort in getting this thing in the air. But I appreciate the time in taking to explain to me what I need to do, fellas, and I'll be on the website responding to any feedback I get. Thanks again.